He makes way for Norwegian left back Ode Johansen. So that's the Fiorentina 11 that have the real uphill task of overturning this 2-0 disadvantage in this second leg. Roma already into the final, incidentally. They won earlier today against Inter. Inter won, Roma 2, was 1-1 from the first leg. They're into a sixth final in a row, Roma. They won 2 and lost 3 of the previous 5, and all 3 of those losses were to Juve, who are on the precipice here of meeting them in the final once again. Here's Massimiliano Canzi, the coach of Juventus. Huge pressure on his shoulders to reach the final here today. The season has not been what he and Juventus would have suspected or expected, sitting 11 points off the top in Serie A, in third position, the last Champions League qualifying position in Serie A. So they will want to hang on to that position, at the very least in the league table. They do have teams right behind them. Lazio just 2 points behind. Napoli 3 points behind them. Fiorentina also 3 points behind Juve. Fiorentina sitting in 6th position in Serie A, Juve in 3rd. So plenty to play for still in the league for Fiorentina and Juventus. But it's all about Coppa Italia action here today. And Fiorentina, how they would love an early goal in this one as they come forward on that left-hand side. The cross is blocked, and it's the first corner kick of the day, and it's gone the way of the visitors, forced by Clean Erik Stuttier, the Icelandic forward, signed for Fiorentina in January, on loan from Leicester City. A move triggered somewhat by the English club signing of Alicia Lehmann from Como. Here's the corner kick, swung in, it's in the 6-yard box, and well, not very convincing defending there by the home side. And was there a half chance in there for Emily Volbeck? Just dropped, and oh well, it was a chance and a half for Volbeck, who sliced her effort wide. So a real opportunity for Fiorentina in the opening moments of this game. That certainly would have set the cat amongst the pigeons for this one. But Juve have survived that little scare. Forward come the visitors here again. Down that left-hand side with Erik Stuttier once more. Urgency will be the order of the day for the visitors here. They have found it really difficult this season in Serie A against some of the newly promoted teams. When the side comes and has the right application, they can make things really difficult for Massimiliano Canzi's team this season. They've been all too easily knocked out of their rhythm at times. Frustrating stalemate. Last weekend for both of these teams against the newly promoted side. As well, Palmer for Fiorentina, Genoa for Juventus. Defence and attack today now. Wing back position. Two first leg win. Another throw in here. Harviken. For a throw in, is it? No. The officials allow play to continue. Severini coming forward with purpose and our cross. It's a dangerous looking one. Is there a chance here for Juventus? Saviola. Well, the home side, just as Fiorentina would have wanted, and neutrals watching this game would have wanted to. They've shown a little bit of vulnerability here in the opening 5 minutes. Haven't really shown themselves as an attacking force just yet. There might be a chance here though for Beccari. Chiara Beccari wanted the free kick, but the referee unconvinced. Here's Severini. Yanogi. The play again from Fiorentina. Eric Sottier. Looking to test that right hand side of the Juve defence again, and once more it's behind for another corner kick for Fiorentina. Asking all the early questions here, and certainly Pablo Quinones Arca, the man in your picture, can be pleased with the early match application here from his side. He insisted that they aren't in Biella for us. Over enough to keep it down. Yet to score a goal for Fiorentina, but close there. Chance, and that's probably the best of them for Fiorentina. Beccari carries it forward, looking for Vansgaard. That carries straight through to Cecily Fiskestran. Norwegian goalkeeper, or Scandinavians in the Fiorentina lineup. Turned 30 earlier this month, Fiskestran. That's given away. Here's Vansgaard. She's got too much strength for Severini. Vansgaard's shot has gone behind off of Ilse van der Zanden. And Juve will have their first corner kick of the game. It's been a bright start to the match. Plenty of incident in the early stages. And Eva Schatzer will take the corner kick here. Cecilia Salvai and Matilda Harvey can take up positions inside the opposing penalty area. These moments just as important for Fiorentina as the ones at the other end. And that's going behind. And it's come off Cecilia Salvai last, has it? Goal kick for the visitors results in any case. Here's Emily Voltek. It's a cheap giveaway by Fiorentina. Juventus 4 times winners of this trophy, 2019, 2022, 23 and last season, 2025. Fiorentina twice winners in 2017 and 2018. They were beaten in the first ever Coppa Italia final. Back in the... That's a good effort from... Oh, it's a really good effort and it's gone in. It's a wonderful strike. And it's an opening goal. And it's Ana Capetta. It's a brilliant goal by the Portuguese. Right-footed hit, and it's come in off the post. For a moment it looked like it was going wide, but Capetta's effort took just inside the post. She scored 3 in 7 since joining from Sporting in February before today. Make that 4 now. And she's been charged with the job of filling the boots of Cristiana Girelli. And she's got another goal, and that's a huge blow for Fiorentina. So Ana Capetta with her second goal in this competition. And it's Juve 1, Fiorentina 0, and for all of Fiorentina's bright start, Juve have struck a goal and really has set them back here. Ana Capetta with it. And it's her second goal, not just in the Coppa Italia, but her second goal in this tie. Scored in the first leg earlier this month. She certainly knows where the goals are, Ana Capetta. 90 goals in 115 appearances for Sporting across 2 spells. Before deciding to try her hand football in Italy. She signed just on loan in February with an option to buy included in the deal. And at the moment it would look likely that Juve will exercise that option. 4 goals since her arrival in February is a decent return from the Portuguese. So Capetta has Juve in front. 3-0 now, the aggregate advantage for the Bianconeri. Here's Eric Slottier. Another winter signing. Eric Slottier trying to lose the attentions of Lenzini, but Lenzini, limpet-like, is sticking to Eric Slottier. She's done well though. Here's Catena. Catena, away from Schatzer. Runs into Chiara Beccari, who lengthens her stride and carries that through the middle. There's a good run by the Italian international. And she's done well to bring the ball away from her own side's defensive third and into the middle. Here's Salvai. And touch for Larissa Rusek. Making her Coppa Italia debut here today. New signing from Nuremberg this season, well, in the close season. Moved in January to replace Pauline Perrault-Magna. Here they come again. It's Capetta once more, and she's trying her hand from distance again. Good strike, but straight at Cecily Fiskastrand. Here's Fiskastrand again. In her second season with Fiorentina. Long ball forward towards Inogi, beaten in the air by Salvai. And Beccari is beaten by Severini, who's on it again now. Catena. Lovely little touch by Bonfantini, and she's gone again for the return pass from Yanogi. Yanogi once more. Here's Madeline Yanogi looking for space out on that right hand side. The Swede has support from Volvik. Severini, that's clever, through the legs of Schatzer, and that's reversed a really good ball, and it's another good opportunity. And this time it's Helene Eriksdott here arriving in from that left hand position, and that's 4 decent chances for Fiorentina in the opening 12 and a half minutes, but they haven't managed to take any of them. That was a really well worked chance for Fiorentina, and they really must take those when they present themselves. Erikstedt here, involved plenty here in the early stages. Schatzer for Thoma. That will beat Thoma to the sideline. Lindsay Thoma, the French forward, originally from Guadeloupe, scored in the second leg of the quarter-final tie against Napoli. Here's Carbonell, looks to get forward. She's Vansgaard ahead of her. Vansgaard trying to reverse it in towards Capetta. Santini, back for Catena, tugging her shirt by Carbonell, which the referee allows play to continue, and then decides to send it back for the free kick for Fiorentina. The second match, well, the third match if you count the first leg of this tie, but they did meet in the league earlier this season too, here in the Stadio Vittorio Pozzo. So it was a match that finished in explosive fashion, deep into injury time. Fiorentina's Benedetta Orsi was apparently fouled, but Juventus played on and scored through Estella Carbonell. The incident was reviewed by the video assistant, and well, the determination was that nothing was amiss, and well, heated moments followed, let's say. Both coaches were sent off by the referee. The game finished 1-0 to Juventus, incidentally. Carbonell's goal, the only one of the game. Here's Volvik with the cross in. Is there anyone arriving on the edge for Fiorentina? No, it's the answer. Beccari looking to bring it away. This looked a free kick for Juve. A lot of unhappiness in the stands in the Vittorio Pozzo. Here's Vansgaard now though for Juventus. She's got Capetta with her, and this is Capetta. Capetta cuts back and returns it again to Vansgaard. Vansgaard tees up the shot, and it's only just over the crossbar by Amelie Vansgaard. 8 goals this season in all competitions, but she's not scored since she scored one in the quarter-final first leg against Napoli on March 22nd. Throw into Juve. If you're joining us late, 1-0 the scoreline says in the top left of your screen. Anna Capetta with the goal on 9 minutes, but the truth is 3-0 is the actual score at the moment on aggregate. Juve winning the first leg of this two-legged Coppa Italia semi-final earlier this month, and they now have a handsome advantage for the remainder of this game. Fiorentina, the side that Juventus has defeated more than any other in their history. 22 wins over the years, 2 draws and 7 losses across all competitions. Well, Fiorentina have passed up enough opportunities to not just be level in this game, to be leading it by 2 or 3. And Madeline, you expect to take an opportunity like that. That was a chance and a half. So 2-headed opportunities for Fiorentina, one for Van der Zanden and one for Yanogi. And another decent chance for Erik Sauter too. That's probably the best of them all for Madeline Yanogi. Done by Bontantini. Schatzer was waiting for it. Petta trying to turn it around the corner, but Emma Serra is there for Fiorentina. Here's Van der Zanden. Catena. Here's Lindsay Thoma. Smart turn by Bakari. Severini, Bontantini, next Juve player, of course, former Juve and Roma. There's another ex-Roma player, Emma Severini. She actually has history in this competition. Severini, the youngest ever Roma player to score at senior level in the Coppa Italia against Tavagnaco in November of 2020. Hugely accomplished midfield player, Emma Severini. Superb to watch on the ball. Here's Johansson, 21-year-old Norwegian left back. Now Yanogi. Inzini with strength from the experienced defender. Now. Support from Harviken. Harviken switch. And here comes Thoma with plenty of space ahead of her. Thoma chews up the ground, and now she has support from Carbonell. Carbonell will fancy the shot here, and that's touched over the crossbar by Fiskestran. Stella Carbonell, fine effort. Really good save as well by Fiskestran. Looked like it might just have tucked underneath that crossbar. Juve will have the corner kick, which Leovaldi will take. Valdi's corner kick towards the back post. Fisker comes and takes it. Really good goalkeeping by the Norwegian. Good goalkeeping by the ex-Brighton player, signed from Lillestrøm in Norway, where she played most of her career. Did spend that season and a half in the Women's Super League with Brighton at the turn of the decade. Johansson. Here's Cherubini. Touch just a little too heavy. Cherubini closed down quickly by Schatzer. Throw in to Fiorentina. Juventus. Oh, here's a chance perhaps here for Yanogi now. Might just be in behind, but well, she was, and the reason for it was that she went a little too early. And then Yanogi. Well, Pablo Piñones Arca is the unusual position of finding his team a goal down, but I imagine still being relatively happy with how his team have played. They created chances, and the strike from Anna Capetta was a superb one. They have restricted Juve in terms of opportunities created. Really good hit though from Capetta from the edge of the area. The difference between the sides here today. Here's Toma in the line looking for Van Scar. Emily Ferreira is there though for Fiorentina. Catena, what a touch that was. If she intended it, which I presume she did for Bonfantini. That's a poor touch though from Bonfantini. Carvanel caught on it by Catena. Fisker strike. Juve have been so out of form and out of sorts this season, winning only one of their last 7 matches. That was the first leg actually of this tie against Fiorentina. Haven't scored in either of their last 2 games. Never in their history have they gone 3 consecutive matches without finding the net. And well, that goal from Anna Capetta ensures that that unwelcome record will not be set here today. Severini. Toma gets back for Juventus. Salvai. Shinogi. Shinogi has support on the edge, but off balance as she hit the effort there. Clean Eric Stuttier. Been a lively presence in the opening 28 minutes. Clean Eric Stuttier. Van der Zanden finds Severini. Now Catena. Yanogi. This is good play. Bonfantini for Fiorentina. Bonfantini's cross. Lifts one towards the back post. Eric Stuttier will try and keep it alive. Cross swung in by Johansson. Too high for Yanogi. Carbonell more interested in putting her body between Bonfantini and the ball, but Bonfantini gets to the ball first as a result. This is Van der Zanden. Cherubini. Catena. Johansson with a chance to cross, which she does. Away by Juve. Player on the edge is Severini. He just got under her effort a little. And sliced it over the crossbar. Once again, Pablo Pinona's Arca has to be pleased with the intent of his side here in the opening 29 minutes. Here's Carbonell. Vansgaard gets away from Severini and Catena, and her pass out for Carbonell, lacking the control that she would have wanted. Former Linköping player in Sweden and Nordsjælland in Denmark, Amalie Vansgaard. She's amongst the top scorers for Juve this season with those 8 goals. 2 in the league, 1 in the Serie A Women's Cup, 2 in Europe, 2 in this competition, and 1 in the Super Cup. Juve with 2 cups in the bag already this season, if you want to count the Super Cup and the Serie A Women's Cup, which they won the inaugural edition of. Once again, Severini cleverly through the legs of Valti. And the cross in from Catena. Eric Stuttier chasing after this one. Just over 30 minutes played in the first half. Eric Stuttier with the cross in. Bonfantini lurking at the back. Yanogi in there as well. Booted away by Harviken, and then Vansgaard will bring it forward, and she's got Capetta. This is Anna Capetta. Beccari coming forward too. Chiara Beccari, she can really seal the tie here. Beccari, and that's blocked on the line by Van der Zanden. Brilliant piece of defending by the Dutch centre-back. Gets back into just the right location on the line. Had that gone in, this tie, if it isn't already over, was certainly over. And 4-0 on aggregate, but it remains 3. Emiliano Kanzi. He's been encouraging his team to treat their 2-goal advantage coming into this game as a half-time score, demanding that his team stay hungry and try to kill off the time before any complacency can take hold. Well, they may well have done that through the goal from Anna Capetta on 9 minutes. And Severini sends it hopeful and one into the area. Here's Van der Zanden. Zucchi and Michaela Calbiaghi doing some warm-up exercises. Good chance that Emiliano Canzi will shuffle his pack at some stage in the second half to give minutes to players. Here's Catena, overcooks the pass in towards Inogi somewhat, and Salvai tidies up, as does Lenzini. Fiorentina throw-in. Goal before half-time for Laviola. Could change the complexion of this one a little bit and give them some hope. Here's Bonfantini up against Harvika. Cherubini now. Catena on the move, but she won't keep that in play. Michaela Catena, over 100 appearances for Fiorentina, and she'll hope to add many more than that in the coming years, having extended her contract with the club to 2028 back in September. Severini, first time ball into the feet of Bonfantini. Fiorentina's form on the road in this competition is a concern. They haven't won a Coppa Italia away match since November of 2024. That against Arezzo. It's always likely to be a challenge today. Here's Johansson. Inogi trying to make something of that pass. Here's Capetta and Beccari bursting forward again. Beccari has Vansgaard in support in the middle. Beccari, will she go all the way herself? Vansgaard, this should finish the tie, but a really good save by Fiskestran. And she deserves the acclaim from her teammates, because that should have been 4 across the tie for Juve. Superb save by the Norwegian, and Amelie Vansgaard will wonder how she hasn't scored. Corner kick for Juve. Well, Fiorentina have had the chances to certainly make this match competitive, this tie competitive, but Juve have had a couple as well that could have put it out of sight. Here's the latest corner kick here. Swung into the 6-yard box, and Vansgaard off the crossbar. So close to a second, Juve. Twice within a matter of a minute. Vansgaard goes close. Here's Beccari. And the effort from Schatzer straight into the midriff of the Norwegian goalkeeper. Here's that header from Vansgaard, just off the top of the crossbar. Well, it's been an entertaining first half, if nothing else. Both sides. And certainly Fiorentina have to go for it. Juve arguably don't, but they've created opportunities. Here's Carbonell. Juve starting to enjoy themselves a little. Carbonell's cross. And it's Vansgaard getting involved again. Former PSG player. She was named the 2023 Danish Female Player of the Year for her performances with her national team on PSG that year. Now Inogi up against Salvai. Voltvik, Inogi, Catena, not quite on the same wavelength. Now Vansgaard again. a little check into the middle to see who's in there in support. Not much is the answer. Capetta getting there, and Bakari. Van Skaard has to overstretch a little. Carbonell is there. Now Van Skaard once more. Toma for Bakari. Bakari onto the left foot, but a shot straight at Fiskerstrand. Sliding in. The referee happy to allow Juve continue with the ball with Chiara Bakari. Now Lindsay Toma. Van Skaard in a little bit of space around about the penalty spot. A shot from Bakari. Van der Zanden brings it away for Fiorentina. Yanogi, such a brilliant competitor, the Swede. Salvai hauling down Madeline Yanogi, and the referee sees that the other way. Yanogi pleads her innocence. Not entirely sure what Madeline Yanogi has done wrong there. Jurek Sotier for Severini. Catena. Severini again. Harvey Kinsella. Schatzer helps it on its way. Catena. And Cherubini. Jurek Sotier, that's nicely done. Catena into the penalty area. Michaela Catena drops a shoulder and goes past Toma. Bonfantini. Buldbeck for Fiorentina, shapes one towards the back post where Eric Sotier competes against Lenzini. Toma's header, shots her away. Bakari protects it for Fiorentina. Can they get a goal into the final 5 minutes of the first half? Here's Fiskerstrand. Emma Ferga. Cherubini. Look a bit more purpose about Fiorentina now in the last few minutes. I just sense that there's something in this one for them before the break. Bonfantini. Plenty of players forward and wide. Bonfantini looking to slip past Harviken, but she's a powerful player, Harviken. Salvai completes the clearance. Capetta can't keep it, pushed over by Ilse van der Zanden. Here's Bakari. Toma's cross. Cherubini gets it away for Fiorentina. Now Catena. Eric Sotier. Severini looking for Yanogi, and that's picked up by Bonfantini. Bonfantini still Agnesa Bonfantini, how she'd love to score against her old club here today. Spent last season on loan at Fiorentina from Juve Bonfantini. The stay was made permanent in the summer. 2-year deal with the club holding the option of a further year. There were suggestions that she might have left in the winter window at one point. Very much still a Fiorentina player, Agnesa Bonfantini. Here's Cherubini. Bonfantini has almost given that away. Juve, as we approach the final minute of the first half, leading by 1-0. They're the most dangerous side in the opening 45 minutes of this season's Coppa Italia. They've scored a tournament high 7 goals during the first half of their matches now. Anna Capetta with the latest of them. Here's the Avalti. Johansson, Catena, and the referee sounds the half-time whistle, and Juve lead by 1-0 at the break, but even better than that from their perspective, they lead by 3-0 at half-time. Anna Capetta with the goal on 9 minutes. Fiorentina have had chances in that first half, but so too have Juve, and Juve have taken one of them. Half-time at Stadio Vittorio Pozzo. It's the home side with a foot in the final. Juventus 1, Fiorentina 0.
Materiale pintecnico, puntatori laser, oggetti e ad offerte. Introdurre e disporre striscioni, bambus, megafoni e altri materiali devono espressamente utilizzati. Effettuare colori, grida o qualsiasi espressione di violenza o discriminazione razziale o territoriale. Cavalcare le barriere e invadere il campo prima, durante e dopo la partita. Ogni infrazione può comportare sanzioni come la chiusura di una ufficiale a orchestra, la politica del campo con la sospensione della gara e la pubblicità per la società ritenuta oggettivamente responsabile. Ricorda che il calcio è patrimonio di tutti i tifosi giocatori del mondo, che ogni vero sportivo deve provare in ogni sogno.
Welcome back to Stadio Vittorio Pozzo, where at half-time Juve lead by a goal to nil and therefore 3-0 on aggregate, and look set fair for a place in the Coppa Italia final to face Roma in a repeat of last season's final, which of course Juve won. Roma will be dead set on revenge in that one. There's the goal scorer, Anna Capetta, by the way, number 7 for Juventus. Her goal on 9 minutes, a fine strike from outside the area, and both sides had opportunities. Fiorentina have had chances. Madeline Yanogi probably with the best of them. Ilse van der Zanden as well from a corner kick headed over the bar, and Clean Eric Dottir with another chance in that first half which they couldn't take. Iris Omar Dottir is getting the call from the bench to replace Agnesa Bonfantini, who did seem to tire towards the end of that first half. So another Norwegian into the Fiorentina lineup for this second half. So can Omar Dottir make a difference? In theory, the tie is still alive. Certainly if Fiorentina can get the next goal and close to within 2. Juve, with all of their experience and class, really should be seeing this out comfortably now. But where there's life, there's hope. So important that Fiorentina get the next goal in this one. Here's Harviken. I did say that Fiorentina had chances in that first half. Juve had other chances as well. Amelie Vansgaard hit the crossbar. Fiskerstrand was forced into some fine saves as well. The Fiorentina goalkeeper, they really could have added to that Anna Capetta goal in the first half, but didn't do so. But you expect your goalkeeper to have a really good game against Juventus in a match like this, where you're throwing caution to the wind. You expect to have to survive some close scares if you're going to progress. But you have to take your chances at the other end, and Fiorentina haven't done that. 3-0 on aggregate, the scoreline. Here's Johansson. Now Erik Dottir. Erik Dottir digs out the cross and travelled a long way before being cleared away, and now Severini. Oh, the Volsbeck on the follow-up. Indeed, it was Ilse van der Zanden, yet to score in a Fiorentina shirt. Joined the Viola in the summer. He's quickly become a key member of the Fiorentina backline. Free transfer from FC Utrecht. Fiorentina starting the second half as they started the first on the front foot. Here's Madeline Yanogi. Yanogi has done well. Yanogi's cross in. Nobody there on white and punched away by Rusek. This is Erik Dottir. Erik Dottir chops back outside. Blocked by Toma. It's found Capetta, the goal scorer. The opinion of the referee has handled that. Fiorentina with a free kick now. Might just have struck her right arm. Anna Capetta. 4 goals in 8 games since arriving from Sporting Club de Portugal in February, and 1 in each leg of this tie. Here's Severini. Severini's delivery. Schatzer gets her head to it. Here's Emma Ferrer. Cherubini down for Johansson. Severini through the legs of Bakari. Schatzer takes over from Catena. Catena fouled by Schatzer. Juve's path to the semi-finals. They beat Cesena 7-1 in the last 16, and it was for Fiorentina. Well, they beat Bologna at that stage, winning that one on penalties. That's sent in once more by Fiorentina, and that's gone behind another corner kick for the visitors into the quarterfinals. Fiorentina 2, Milan 1. On aggregate, and Juve 4, Napoli 2. On aggregates in their semi-final. Obvious on Pablo Quiñones his face.
Where is... No, you're here.
Juventus corner kick. Fiorentina cannot afford to concede here. There was any doubt for the Bianconeri. Anna Capetta with her third in the competition. And her third in 2 matches. In the Coppa. And a header from inside the penalty area as Volvic comes forward for Fiorentina, just about keeps it in play, but Carbonell will be the player to profit from that, well, for a moment. touch by Van der Zanden. A competitive goal in the first half, incidentally, from the edge of the area for Juve. It's a bit of a rarity for Fiorentina to score from that, to concede from that sort of range. They're the only team in Serie A that hasn't conceded a single goal from outside the penalty area this season. It's usually vulnerable from distance. Pablo Pignone-Zarca's team. Fiorentina's hopes of reaching a 10th major final look to be vanquished now, and it might get even worse as Carvanel comes forward in towards Vansgaard. Van der Zanden just sees that behind. Another corner kick for Juve. Vansgaard threatening again for Juventus. Fiorentina were such a regular side in finals in their early years. They reached 3 finals in their first 4 years. And they have struggled recently. Haven't reached the final in 5 of their last 6 attempts. 2024 being the only exception when they beat Juve in the semi-final. It's not going to happen today. Off the line, Thomas there. It's over the crossbar. Juve close to a third. Salvai with the header. Thomas just tried to poke it through the left. Of Catena. Terrific for Juventus. 4 goals across all competitions, the same as Amani Vansgaard, including a vital strike in the first leg at Viola Park. Plenty of responsibility on her shoulders and the shoulders of Anna Capetta in the absence now of Cristiano Girelli, who has of course departed for the USA. Fiorentina trying to play their way out again and almost getting caught, but Johansson brings it away. Johansson down the line for Erik Stottier, able to gather it in. Rusek has found Schatzer with her clearance or her pass. Decide for yourself which that was. This is faulty. Juventus just don't lose these ties when they have a lead from the first leg. On all 3 previous occasions when they took a first leg lead, they successfully advanced to the final. And with a handsome 4-0 advantage now, it looks likely. And that's the direction in which this tie is going as well. There is Omar Stottier wanted the free kick. Vansgaard. Van der Zanden gets there first. Buldvik. Severini, aware of the presence of Vicari over her shoulder. Here's Cherubini. Here's Yanogi. Madeline Yanogi scoops it up and over the crossbar. Not looking likely to be her day, Madeline Inoki. She has scored 6 goals against Juve. She's only scored more for Fiorentina against Milan, against whom she scored 8. Eric Sauter, slipping it through towards Omar Sauter. Johansson slips in between Thoma and Polti. This is Catena in towards Severini. Still Severini, trying to jink in between Martina Lenzini and Lindsay Thoma. Little change on the way for the visitors. Philippa Cormack, one of them. It's with Bakari. Carbonell, Vansgaard, Capetta was lurking in behind. That was a really important touch by Van der Zanden. Here's Thoma. Lenzini now. Lindsay Thoma. Really has served Massimiliano Canzi well as a wing-back. Lindsay Thoma, more known as a flying winger traditionally, but she's adapted really well to that right wing-back position when she's been needed. It's a good ball by Eric Sauter, and she's found Catena. Carbonell has a little tug at Catena, who's found Inoki has won the corner kick for her side, and they might just take this opportunity to make the change here. And Katja Trygva-Dottir and Philippa Cormack will be the players to come in, and Michaela Catena will be the first to depart. And Maya Cherubini also making way. So the Swede Philippa Cormack and the Icelandic Katla Trygva-Dottir, the players introduced. And Michaela Catena and Maya Cherubini coming in for Fiorentina. They take the corner kick now. Shot from the edge, and that's pushed out, and it's in. It's Omar Sauter who's got it. Iris Omar Sauter. And I think it was Katla Trygva-Dottir with the effort from the edge of the area that resulted in this spell from Larissa Rusek. Double change too for the home side on the way. Michaela Cambiaghi and Tatiana Pinto coming in, and Anna Capetta and Leah Volti making way. So Capetta, 2 goals here today, 3 across the tie, and it's her prolific striking that has Juve in such a strong possession in this tie. 4 goals to 1 aggregate lead. And she can make her way off knowing that she's made a really significant contribution. Leah Volti also making way. and Tatiana Pinto into the 11 on the pitch now. So 3 goals between the sides again. Here's another look at the goal. Headed away, and it was Trygve. That might easily have been her first touch in the game. Katla Trygve. And it resulted in the spill from Rusek, and the finish that narrows the gap between the sides now. Iris Omarsdottir with her 6th goal in a Fiorentina shirt. Here's Johansson. So 3 goals, the difference between the sides once more. Could another goal cause Juve nerves to jangle? Only one way to find out, and that's to actually go and get it here. Fiorentina. It would be a ridiculous comeback if they could pull it off, but it's a long, long way away as things stand. Shinogi. Shinogi forces the corner kick for Fiorentina. Agina for Juve. Katla Trygve trying to stay with her and not able to do so. Here's Cambiaghi. Cambiaghi sent. Rather a loss of Omar. Here by Severini. Salvai clips the pass off of Erik Stottir, throw into Juve. Well, the weight of history was very much against Fiorentina coming into this game. Overturning a first leg deficit at this stage is extremely rare. Since 2014, only 2 teams have managed it. Milan in 2021 against Inter, and Roma in 2023 against Milan. And they, however unlikely it was at the outset, they're playing again against Juventus, who's, well, one of the more difficult opponents for Fiorentina traditionally. 10 defeats in 14 trips to Turin. All the omens against Fiorentina, and at the moment that's exactly how it's playing out. Nicely done by Trygve, and she's away from Pinto, and she's released Erik Stottir. Really good covering play from Cecilia Salvai. Van der Zanden. No Ferga. Erik Stottier threads it through to Omar Stottier. Schatcher picks up the loose pass. Now Bakari. Chiara Bakari. Referee says no free kick for the challenge by Omar Stottier, who made a long run back to get there, the forward for Fiorentina. Severini. Yanogi against Carbonell. Here with the challenge, and the referee has awarded the free kick to Amelie Vangsgaard. Here's Cecily Salvai. Cormac now. Yanogi. Volvic has found a good out ball. Juve have won it back again. All very tight over there on that left hand side. Johansson cheekily looking to take the throw in that was clearly Juve's. Yellow card for Chiara Bakari. First player to be carded in the game. Quality in front of goal when necessary. These sides met here on match day 7. Makes way to be replaced by the shot. Filangieri. Good save by the Austrian goalkeeper. Corner kick for Fiorentina. Severini will take. She's decided instead to leave it for Toniolo. Making her first appearance of the campaign, Martina Toniolo, after a medical procedure last year. There's the header from Emma Farah. It's away by Shakhtar. Johansson back to her goalkeeper. Trygvadottir. Now Filangieri. Severini, Yanoki continues to ride one of them. Toniolo throwing herself at it. Lindsay Thoma launching it clear as far as the carry. Throw in for Fiorentina. The Juve players encouraging the referee to check on the welfare of Larissa Rusek. 2 hands gone down, and looks to be something to do with the right ankle. Referee with a check at the watch. own turf. It's not one that they'll have an open top bus parade about, but nevertheless, if they can manage to get a couple of goals here and win the match, if not the tie, it would give them a little bit of history. And the player who's made plenty of history comes onto the pitch, Martina Rosici. Emma Kuhlberg also coming in. And it's Chiara Beccari and Matilda Harvik in the players. Fiorentina and Juve also in Serie A locked in a battle, of course, for that third place in the league table. And the Champions League position that would go with it, it would be an absolute disaster for Juve should they not hold on to that place that they are in possession of just at the moment. So perhaps positive result here today for Fiorentina. Again, even if they go out the competition, it might be something they can carry into the league. Referee's notebook as well. Alongside Chiara Beccari. With the Turin side and the league table, albeit Juve with a great with the outside of the boot. dominating in 23-24, winning both legs, 1-0 and 3-1 to reach the final. And then last season, Juve winning 3-2 and 1. As Krumbiegel tries a shot. Right wing back position. Since the substitutions, Maria Luisa Filangeri gone in at centre back. His clearance is blocked down by Trygve Dotter. Vansgaard is after the swap. She's got Pinto and Cambiaghi up with her. Toma arriving as well. Vansgaard, and she has support as well from Rasucci, but Severini tracked that run all the way. Here's Emefera. And Surasek beaten once today, and we're into the final minute of the 90. Beaten just once across to time. That's why Juve look to be heading to the final. 4 goals to 1. making it 8. Big weekend in Serie A with Inter drawing and Roma continuing to win. Cross in, away by Juventus. Here's Van der Zanden. Here's Van der Zanden. Severini, it's gone behind, goal kick for Juventus. Well, Massimiliano Canzi is a man who has probably felt the pressure, you'd have to imagine, in recent weeks, certainly after last week's 0-0 draw, which, you know, his position will have been looked at, but his was decided that they will stay with him for the moment. Juventus, he will have the opportunity to turn this season into something of a success. Had things not gone his way today, things might have been very different. And he is, and his team is still in with a chance of more silverware and a place in the Champions League next season. For all their troubles in the league, they've had a good campaign in the Champions League. They've won the Super Cup, they've won the Serie A Women's Cup, and now they're in the Coppa Italia final. They've just lacked that consistency in the league this season, Juventus. Certainly seem to have been able to turn it on the big day, and as they have done today, Juventus into a 13th major final since the club's inception in 2017, a national record. 2-1 the final score here today. Anna Capetta with the opening goal on 9 minutes. The same player again made it 2. There was consolation from Iris Omarsdottir here in the second half for Fiorentina, but Juventus 2-1 here today, 2-0 in the first leg, giving them an aggregate win across this semi-final of the Coppa Italia, and it will see them into the final to take on Roma. Final score here today from the Stadio Vittorio Pozzo. It's finished Juventus 2, Fiorentina 1.
Bye.